Hi beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back. So today we're doing part 2 of my videos using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Pricked Eyeshadow Palette, or Pressed Pigment Palette since technically it's not eyeshadow. But today we're going to be doing a look together. I did a kind of a sunsetty look in my previous video using it where I did swatch all the shades of it and do like a good everyday look that's kind of sexy too. So today I wanted to do a halo eye and make it a lot deeper than the previous look I did. So without any further ado guys, let's go ahead and get started. Y'all are seeing this in my future, which is gonna be official spooky season October 1st. Congratulations guys, we made it. We're here, we're enjoying it. So happy spooky season, and I do have a spooky all year business. If you want to check out the opencrypt.com, it's all handmade by me, and you can use code SPOOKY at checkout if you want to save 10% from the 1st to the 4th. So if you want to save 10% off my handmade products, I'll leave a link down below. But I'm excited for spooky season, you guys. You can't tell me looking like a human haunted house. Alright, let's get started with the eyeshadow. So in case we need a little reminder on the Pricked Eyeshadow Palette, it's a cute little purse looking moment, and it's more of his orange palette from Jeffree Star. This retails for $52. I bought it from Beautylish, so it shipped faster, and I would definitely suggest Beautylish over Jeffree Star's website if you're looking to get something quickly. So here is what the inside looks like as a little refresher. Today I'm going to focus on doing something a little bit darker. Again, we did a sun-steady look. We used several of the medium tones as well as this bright shimmer for our first one. So I want to deepen up outer corners and make a little pop in the highlight moment in the center, and then do a really nude, cool tone, spooky lip. So let's get started. I'm going to prime now. I'm gonna prime my eyes now with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Base in Fair. I just can't talk today. Just can't talk. Alright, now that my eyelids are primed, I decided we're going to go ahead and start off with a lighter shade. We'll work our way to the deeper shades. So what I want to go into is Cutting Edge, which is kind of this creamy taupey color. I just want to, again, this was a really powdery shade. A ton is going to come off and a ton is going to sit in the pan with this shade. I want to set underneath of my brow, leave the crease and the lid empty of powder, of course. But this is just going to make it a lot easier to blend later when we get to the darker colors, like blending it out. This is already set with something. It's going to be just easier to blend powder on top of powder compared to a cream to skin, you know? If that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. So because I'm just tempted, I don't know how it's going to look with this look I had in mind, but I'm tempted. I want to use the shade Forged, which is like the brightest red orange shade in the palette. So I want to go into this, tap off my excess. I want to tap this in the outer and inner corner of the lid area. To go back in here, I think this is probably one of the pigments, so this will probably stain your eyelid. Be prepared for that. But I just want to tap this here and here. So again, already starting to make that halo shape, but I am having to go back in here several times just to keep the pigmentation going, and then slightly connect over the top here. So I'm not really impressed with the pigmentation on this because I did go in there so many times to get it to this exact shade. I definitely think if you want it to be a little brighter, you could take a packing brush and pack it in there, but for as many times as I went in here, I feel like it should be a little bit deeper of a color, you know? Especially in person, it looks more pink. On camera, it does appear more of a orangey, bright reddy color, but that's fine. So I'm going to wipe off that same brush now because let's be realistic. You see people on YouTube and stuff using like 8 different brushes for an eye look. Who at the end of the day wants to clean all them brushes? I certainly don't. So we're going to use the same brush I just wiped off on paper towel. So now I want to go into the shade Slice Me Open, which is this one. We did use in our previous look, but it is the darkest shade, and I really just did not like the Scorpion Twisted or Double Crossed one. So I'm going to go into this one. No kickback on the pan, tap it off anyways, and I'm going to start deepening up that color. So as a little before and after, here's with that other color, not blended obviously, and there's the regular color. So it definitely brings it to more of a berry tone, which I'm okay with. But, a lot of these shades in here don't really scream orange to me. Like, we have 3 or 4 shades that are orangey and 1 actual orange shade. But for me, like, when people are like, oh my god, this is Jeffree's orange palette, it doesn't really say that orange to me. I feel like it's the warm, burnt, orangey, and burgundy packaging that says that, more so than the color scheme. Because there's, like, it's warm neutrals and some berry tones and a gold. you know? This shade I'm actually bringing a lot over in the center. The other one I kind of focused on the outer portions. I'm going to go ahead and start connecting this more now. So as we can tell, we have a whole whoop with this color. Again, wiping off that excess so we don't have to use a million brushes. And we're going to go into the black matte with the glitter in it now. Now that sounds intimidating. It probably is going to be, and we might ruin the look. But that's what shimmers are for, to save it. So I'm going to go into Deadly Intentions now, which is this black with glitter in it, like a gold glitter. Very lightly, and I'm going to tap off the excess. And only focusing this on the outer and inner portions. Now, because this has glitter in the matte, I do worry that we're not going to be able to like touch this after to blend the edges as much. Because, okay, so I have a tendency to notice that pigments or shadows with glitter in the mattes kind of buffer away rather than blurring out, if that makes sense. You know, like it'll kind of wear away or get duller rather than blending itself out. Which honestly with a black for me is okay. Because, you know, you can always add more black, and if it gets a little too heavy, well then, sorry about it. So this is what I'm going to leave the black like. It looks like a mess. It's going to be fine in the end because we're going to use shimmers in the center. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So this is my eyeshadow. It looks a mess. But you know what? It's about to all come together. I'm going to take this little cut crease canvas thing from Makeup Revolution. I know it's hella expired. And I don't care. It's discontinued. You can use any eyelid primer, any like concealer, anything just to do this little thing. So I'm going to take it on one side of the brush. Try not to get on the other side. And I'm going to bloop, 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 bloop in the center here. Right above my pupil. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to blur it out a little bit so we don't have too much pigment, and I'm going to clean off my brush. So I'm going to leave it like this. They're not even. They're never going to be even. It's fine. So now with this up there, I'm going to take the brightest shade, which is this one. It is called Pale by Comparison. And I'm going to put it on top of it. Now on the sides of my lid that don't have this primer on both sides, I'm going to take a darker shimmer. I wish we had a really dark one like our berry tones or the black or even like this shade. We don't. All we have is this really, it seems really fragile shade called Unblunted. And I'm going to put that, you know, everywhere I don't have the highlight. So this is what Pale by Comparison looks like on the brush. It did swatch out very peachy. And I'm going to go ahead and apply it on top of my highlighted area. Taking the back side of the brush now into the other shade. And just tapping it on the lid into the crease. Again, I wish it matched the berry tones. It's definitely more of a bronzy. But it works. And now that I have both of my colors on, I'm going to flip back to the Pale by Comparison side of my brush. And just buffer between the two. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't feel like the mattes and the shimmers in this palette correspond very well, because a lot of them are, you know, orangey, bronzier tones, and then the only deep ones you have are black or berry. I would really like to see a dark bronzy moment to match this shimmer, since there are no other shimmers in the palette to match the berry vibes that some of the shades give, you know? Hope that makes sense. I mean, I know technically I could have chosen just some of these medium-ish shades for my halo eye instead of the berry toned. But when you think Jeffree, you think dramatic, you know? The drama of it all, extreme looks. I would like the deeper shades in the palette to match the shimmers a little. Now I'm going to go into that blending brush from before with no extra product on it. Still has a little bit of black residue on it. And I'm going to blur the mattes into the shimmers. Alright, so this gray smudge on my face, we're ignoring that, you know, because I rubbed away black powder rather than taking a brush and getting it off like a fool. So, moving on to the lower lash line. Now, I know this looks crazy, but with lashes on, I know it's going to come together. I'm going to go into the E55 shader brush. Both of these brushes were from my Sigma brush set, and I'm going to go into... See, I want to match the kind of bronzier shade, so I'm going to give this double-crossed shade another chance. It's kind of on the bronzier side and it's a little deeper. I'm just going to brush this under here laissez-fairely. Is that how they say it? Laissez-faire? Lazily? non-caringly, whatever that word means. Alright, so here's my eyeshadow. For the dramatic effect, I'm going to go ahead and do my lashes, lipstick, and everything off camera. I'll be right back and I'll show you the finished look. Because right now, we're looking a little messy, but I know it's going to come together. Alright guys, this is the finished look using the Pricked palette. This is my more dramatic of the two looks. So we have a little wing, a little extended waterline, a little bit of glitter under here, and of course our halo eye eyeshadow, and a muted cool tone grungy lip. This is Jeffree Star's Gated Community, and extra lashes from Baddie. So these are one of my favorite types of looks, where it's like grungy, but it still has a little bit of color to it that makes it a little bit different than just browns too, because I like that berry tone in there. I love the look. I think it's absolutely fantastic. If you want to cool it down or not make it as dramatic as this, you can take a white or nude in your waterline instead of black and just skip the extended waterline thing, and it actually just turns out a way prettier and more formal night out look, you know? But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I didn't have any issues with any of the shadows that I used in this look. I still am just not a fan of this one shade. This shade right here called Double Cross with a scorpion on it. I'm not really a fan of it. I feel like the black did stand in there, but as I've been wearing it for a little bit of time, it has kind of muted itself down from a black down to more of a gray tone, and I think that could just be the glitter in there, but it definitely did deepen up the look enough to make it look like cool and presentable and stuff, and I quite liked the other shades. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check out my shop, theopencrypt.com, you can use code SPOOKY for some extra discounted on my products. I'll leave a link down below. I'm super excited about the launches for October, by the way, like super excited. And thank you guys so much. Have an awesome and safe day there wherever you are. Let me know what you think of this palette down below, and have a great day. Stay spooky.